Well, welcome to our weekly Forex forecast. Before we dive into it, happy New Year, everyone. So last year was a bit rough, so let's hope this year is more stable now that we have a better understanding of what's going on with the virus and we have vaccines out. And there is a lot of support that the government has offered individuals as the businesses. So let's hope that we are on our way to recovery this year. So let's take a look at what's coming up this week. We'll start off with Forex Factory as usual. So in terms of overall what's going on, so we are still dealing with the virus, and the number of cases in the US and several countries around the world have been going up. Now we do have vaccines that have been approved by many different countries, and the vaccination program has already started. So that's a positive thing. In regards to the recovery, because of the support that the government has been providing and the central banks have been providing, last year in 2020, we saw a huge recovery in terms of the stocks. So now there should be this year, I would expect things to settle down a bit, and we'll see what the economy is actually doing. So a lot of this recovery in the stock market has been because of the money that has been or that is being spent by the governments and the central banks. We'll have to see now once the dust settles where everything stands. But right now, because of a lot of support, a lot of stimulus, we did see that in the US, the stimulus package got passed. That's a positive sign. And now there may be a bit of a volatility because we have Senate elections this week. I believe it's on Tuesday. And the Senate is important because the control of the Senate will help either the Democrats pass the laws that they want to, or it could create more of not a hunk government, but basically a tough place where Democrats, if they pass stuff in the House, but they don't have Senate support, then stuff really won't, the policies won't really go too far. So that's what we are looking at this week. So expect a little bit of a volatility around the Senate elections, and as the results come out. Now, later this month, we'll see that transition in the government from one party to another. So that's something we'll keep in mind. Now, with the Brexit here, last minute, they were able to reach an agreement. And as a result of that, the whole that whole hard Brexit scenario was avoided, but there may be a little bit more volatility as the dust settles around that as well. So pound was bullish because of the agreement being reached, and now that the agreement has been reached around Brexit, pound is likely to still be bullish, and then we'll have to wait and see how it performs excuse me, over the next couple of months here, because even though agreement has been reached, but the logistics of separating may weigh on both the currencies. So we'll take a look at that. And US dollar hasn't performed that well. Main reason for that has been a lot of the printing of money, essentially a lot of support that we have seen Fed give the markets, and as a result of that, when there is too much supply of something, the price goes down, and hence we have seen that with the US dollar as well. And also, it tends to be a safe haven currency. So when the stock markets are going up and there's a lot of bullishness in the market, US dollar and Japanese yen, Swiss franc, these currencies tend to not perform too well. So that's what we have here. So let's take a look at that was the overall picture. So let's take a look at what's coming up this week. We have PMI numbers here to start off with. And excuse me. So PMI numbers are from the Eurozone. PMI numbers are early indicators. So when the PMI numbers are positive, we expect purchasing managers to be buying stuff, which means they're expecting higher retail sales, which means the economy is likely to be doing well. So PMI numbers are important. We do have OPEC plus meetings here, so we'll see right now, or actually last time when we looked at the OPEC meetings, they still did not have an agreement in regards to the production cuts or anything like that, and they wanted to return to their normal quota. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on how any kind of comments that come out of it. So right now, we'll just need to stay with an open mind because they are holding on to the quotas as of right now. And then on Tuesday, a whole bunch of news, but nothing critical here. And there is manufacturing PMI numbers from the US. On Wednesday here, we have more Eurozone PMI numbers, both for Euro and the pound. And we have Bank of England Governor Bailey speaking. So now that the Brexit is done, we'll have to pay attention to what Bank of England says, but they're likely to hold and not really make any changes. And in that case, it shouldn't really have much of an impact on British pound. FOMC meeting minutes here, these will be important for the US dollar and the stock market. So basically, last time the Fed had said that it's up to the government to provide support and to provide that stimulus. So now that the government has passed the stimulus, not really expecting a whole bunch of change from the Fed here either. They have provided the support and they have said that they will continue providing the support, and that is likely to be the stance going forward as well. If anything changes from that, then we are likely to see an impact on the US dollar. Otherwise, if the statement is positive, they're going to continue providing the support, then I would expect the stock market to go up as a result of that. Thursday, we have services PMI numbers from the US, but not much. Friday is an important day, so we have non-farm payroll numbers for the US. So one thing that we are likely to see moving forward, and this will be for the US and other countries as well, where the government has been providing support. So towards the middle of the year, as we see some of these programs roll off, that's when we are likely to really see what impact coronavirus has had on the economy and on the job. So we are likely to see a continuation in terms of job losses, unfortunately, into this year. So keep that in mind. But any kind of positive numbers from the non-farm payroll numbers in regards to non-farm payroll will be good for the stock market. In question here, do I think Trump and his team will have an impact on the markets? At this point, no. I think everybody has accepted the Joe Biden victory at this point. And yes, there are court cases and stuff, but I don't think that would really have an impact. So lately, we haven't, Trump has not been getting as much press as he normally does. So that's another indication as well. I think everybody is looking forward as opposed to looking backwards at this point. All the recounts has been done and all of that. So there really isn't enough evidence that there was any problems, like real problems in terms of elections. So I don't think there will be a lot more impact of that on the markets. We are more likely to see a bigger impact from the Senate elections at this point, just because the control of the Senate will be important for Biden moving forward. Because if Democrats cannot control the Senate or they don't have Senate majority, then a lot of their policies will not really get passed. And actually, that will be positive for the stock market because some of the Biden's policies will be more taxes essentially. So I was looking at some charts this morning, and they were saying how the tax burden on the major corporations has declined in the last several years. And one of the things that Biden wants to do is increase the taxes on the major or on bigger corporations. So now that will have an impact on the stock market, because of course we have all the big corporations in the stock market, and their the shareholder earnings will be impacted, everything will be impacted from that. So that is likely to have negative impact. So that's why the Senate seats are important at this point. So we'll see how that plays out. That I expect will make a difference, but not what's going on with President Trump and the lawsuits and stuff. They're not really being successful at that. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on the Senate elections. All right, so let's go on to the charts here. Okay, we'll start off with Euro US dollar as usual. Euro is at an important support resistance level. So this move here, this down move has now been filled. We had talked back when price was here, we had talked about how it's likely to go all the way up here. So now here we are. This is an important support resistance level, but this is not as critical as this main one. So what I would be looking for at this point would be, we're likely to get a bit of a pullback here, either into this 1.2150 level or back into this 1.2080. And then from here, we could see another move, another leg higher, all the way into the top here. So I would watch out for that. But right now, as it stands for the last 2-3 weeks, here price has not been able to go through the resistance, which means that we are likely to see a bit of a pullback here. So I would be looking at 1.2080 or even back into here 1.2120 level here for that pullback before we see that next leg higher. So in the coming week, bias is neutral here, maybe slightly looking for a pullback here as well. So slightly to the downside because of that. Overall, euro still looking bullish. And at this point, basically, we're looking for a pullback, a drop, and then a continuation for higher here. So a neutral bias here for euro dollar. My target here would be 1.2080, and we will keep an eye on this 1.2120 level here to see which one it bounces off of. I'm going to keep all three here all the way into 1.20 because it could 1.20 is the top of this this consolidation area that we saw price break out of. So that's an important level. Price could pull back into that. So we'll keep an eye on that. Neutral bias for euro dollar in the coming week. Pound dollar here, pound looking quite bullish. It was stuck here for several weeks as we were waiting for Brexit conclusion here. So now that they have reached an agreement, this is looking bullish. The weekly close looks quite bullish here, and we are likely to see pound follow in the euro footsteps. So just the way euro went all the way up here, we are likely to see pound do the same. So bias here is bullish. Next target is 1.3765. And then beyond that, we have a 1.3900. So bullish bias here for pound dollar. Aussie dollar, this one here as well, it has struggled with this resistance at 0.76 level here for a while. Now it's on the other side of it, so looking bullish here. Next target. So next target here would be 0.7820. So bullish bias here for Aussie as well. New Zealand dollar, same thing here. We are seeing that price held above the support level here. So it came down, bounced off of our support level 0.70. So now looking for a further move to the upside here. So bullish bias for New Zealand dollar as well. And our target will be all the way into this resistance here. So looking back, this is what we are looking at. So that will be the overall target here. That's where I'm expecting it to go. Next target is 0.7230. And then we are looking at 0.7380. So bullish bias here for New Zealand dollar as well. Dollar CAD here, this also looks bearish at the moment. We see that price held this important support resistance level. We have a nice bearish candle close. Now it is still trading in this range here. It hasn't gotten out of the range. So we do need to be mindful of the support level, because if it doesn't go through, we could see this continuation of this range bound move here. So right now bias is bearish, just with caution though, because we need to see a drop through this level for a continuation to the downside, and we may see a move back here towards the support level. For now though, next target here is 1.2620 and then 1.2520, so bearish bias for dollar CAD. Euro pound here, this one has been going back and forth, and with the Brexit decision being reached, this is looking bearish. I will look for a move back towards the support here at 0.8860. So bearish bias for Euro pound. Euro Swiss franc here, this one is still looking range bound. It hasn't managed to get out of this range. So we saw a bounce off of the resistance, and now I'd be looking for a move back down towards a 1.0735. So neutral, neutral within the range, but bearish here within the range here. So bearish bias for Euro Swiss franc for now. Pound Swiss franc, this one is also trading in a range. It's been stuck in this range for quite some time, but as we can see, it has bounced off of the lower parts of the range and now is headed towards the higher level. So bias here is bullish, and so the bias is bullish. Target is 1.2240, back into the top of the range here. So bullish bias for pound Swiss franc. Dollar Swiss franc here, this one is sideways at the moment. It is holding below this previous support resistance level that it broke through. And now, as we can see, here we are right now looking range bound, so neutral to bearish bias here. I would look for a continuation towards 0.8695, so 0.8700. So neutral to bearish bias here. Again, we have to watch out the support here, because this is still in a range, just like dollar CAD. If it doesn't break the support, we could see a move back up. So neutral to bearish bias here for dollar Swiss franc. Pound yen also looking bullish here. And right now price is into resistance, so be mindful of that, but looking bullish. Next target is 142.70, so it held the support level here, and now we're likely to see the next move higher back into towards this 145 area here. So first target is 142.80, and then second target here is a 143.80, so bullish bias for pound yen. Euro yen, this one has been sideways. As we can see, prices into important support resistance level here, hasn't been able to break through that resistance for several weeks. And this week's candle close, we have a doji pin bar here. So we may get a drop back into the support towards 125. Only thing to keep in mind here would be this support level here. It hasn't been able to break the support level, so it's been stuck in this very, very narrow range. In order for this to really be bearish, we have to see a break through this support at 125.80, because if we don't, we are likely to go higher here. So right now I would say bearish with caution though. Watch out for the support. Once this gives way, then we're looking at 125, and below that 124.30. So a bearish bias, just be cautious of the support here. Dollar yen here, this one's still looking bearish. It's holding below this support resistance level here at 103.85. So looking for a drop towards 102.80. Again, watch out though. We have to see this support break. Otherwise, same thing as dollar Swiss franc here, we could see a reversal back towards the higher parts of this range. So neutral to bearish bias for dollar yen. Aussie yen looking bullish here. Next target is 80.75. Now basically looking for it to move higher into that area. It is into resistance, so just be careful here, but still looking bullish. It's 80.75 or 80.80 is the target for Aussie yen. New Zealand yen, this one is also looking bullish. We are into resistance though, so just be careful, but it's looking bullish. It's holding the support level here. It wasn't able to break through, so now looking for price to go higher. So bias here is bullish, and the next target here is 76.70. But before that, the midpoint here, 75.60 and then 76.70. So the comment here, markets need to pull back. You know, I've been waiting for these pullbacks for a long time. Everything's just so bullish right now. It's just all the money that the government has been and the banks have been handing out to the markets. So everything is super bullish right now. All right, so looking at CAD yen here, as we can see, price did drop into the support level, has bounced back. It's looking a bit neutral here, neutral to bullish. I would look for a move towards 81.50 back higher here again. So this may, if it holds at 80, essentially we're looking for a move towards the top of the range here. So first target is 81.50, second target would be 82 for CAD yen. All right, so let's take a look at there was a question about pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand is looking range bound at the moment. So this is our weekly chart here. As we can see, it's been trading in this range here. It seems to be rejecting the support. So I will look for a move towards 1.9150 and potentially towards 1.9270. Now looking at the daily here, it's still stuck in this long range or in this big range. It's been in this range since November here. So basically looking for a retest of the highs towards 1.9150, potentially towards 1.9270, but we'll have to see how price reacts here because it could just go into this resistance and then bounce off like it did previous time. So that's something to watch out for right now. Looking bullish towards 1.9150. Bitcoin is going crazy. Yes, Bitcoin's likely to go higher. Quite a move in after that resistance broke. Bitcoin has just been like a rocket ship. All right, so looking at our silver here. Okay, this one, yeah, it's a little stuck in a range at the moment here. We see that price did go into this resistance, hasn't really done anything. Overall, it's in this big range, still in this big range here. Looking at the daily here, not really a lot of direction. So right now, I would say neutral bias here for silver, and we will wait for it to find direction here before we move forward. All right, so looking at our gold here, gold is also into resistance. Hasn't really gone too far over the last few weeks here. Once we see a break through this resistance, so it is slightly bullish. Next target will be 1933. So neutral to bullish here for gold. Oil here, oil trying to move forward here. It is into resistance at the moment. This is where we are. This is where price has struggled previously as well. So it's looking neutral at the moment. For the last 4 weeks, it's been stuck in this range. We may see a drop towards 46, and then if it holds that, it is likely to use that support as a further bounce higher. So I would keep an eye on this 46 level. If it holds above, we're looking for a further move to the upside. But right now, I will look for a bit of a drop here towards 46. So neutral bias here for oil. Copper here, copper not looking that good. Looks like this one wants to drop a bit. We have a bearish candle close for the week, and it's been trading in this range for the last little bit. So looking for a move towards 3.41. So bearish bias for copper here. Bitcoin, I don't have the daily, or I should say I don't have the weekend numbers here for Bitcoin. But really, we don't really have any sort of history here. We have seen the price break through the resistance level, and now I would say we are looking at 30,000. Essentially still bullish, but we'll keep an eye on this on the daily because my chart hasn't been updated yet. S&P 500. So now with the stimulus being passed, this is still looking bullish here. We may see a break. It is right into resistance, so do watch out for that, but still looking bullish. And next target here, once we see the break here, we are looking at about 3,800 here for S&P 500. Oh, Salvatore, Bitcoin is at 33. Okay, then. Yeah, so still bullish. So let's say we are definitely going higher. So thank you. Yeah, my chart hasn't updated yet because of the holidays. So a little behind here. Thank you. Bitcoin is on fire and still expecting it to continue. All right, so NASDAQ here also looking bullish. We see that price is into resistance. It's trying to close above here, so still looking bullish. Next target is 13,000 for NASDAQ. And Dow, so next one here, so 30,630. This is our Dow Jones here, looking bullish still. So it is struggling right up here, but nonetheless, it's trying to break out. So all of these are likely to break out together if they do, but we do have to be careful here. It still hasn't gone through the resistance yet. It's struggling with this. It's been struggling with this resistance for the last several weeks here. So we'll keep an eye looking bullish for the time being though. DAX as well. It is right into our resistance, did try to go through it and has bounced back into the range here. So we are likely to get a move back down towards 13,500, and then it may bounce with the other one. So if the others move higher, we are likely to see this type of a move. So a bit of a pullback and a further move higher. So right now looking for a pullback towards 13,500 for DAX. And then FTSE here, FTSE it's sideways here. We do see a bearish close, so I look for a move towards 63.20 and then a bounce off of that. So basically this type of a move here. Right now looking bearish, and I'm looking for a move towards 63.20, which is bottom of this range here, and then I would be looking for, once it holds here, we'll look for a further move higher. Nikkei here, Nikkei looking quite bullish here, and as we can see, it has finally broken through this resistance. Next move is higher here, so 28,000 will be the next level to watch here. So bullish bias for Nikkei as well. So all in all, everything seems to be looking bullish for the time being, with a lot of stimulus money, like I said, going into the markets. Markets are basically ignoring this whole crisis and the economy, and they're expecting the economy to recover because of the unprecedented amount of support that is being provided to the markets here. All right, so with that, I will wrap it up. You guys have a wonderful trading week. I will be back with my daily analysis tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Bye for now.